Is a successful relationship one that is easy or one that is challenging?
I would say to some degree that depends on your temperament. My wife is quite a provocative person. And there are times when I suppose, there are times when I casually wish that she was easier to get along with. But as soon as I think about it, I don't think that.
Yeah.
Because I've always liked her. We were friends ever since we were little kids. And she plays rough. And I like that, as it turns out. Now, that doesn't mean it isn't a pain from time to time, but, and that is going to be a temperamental issue to some degree and an issue of negotiation. Like, she plays rough, but fair. And the fair part has been establishing that's been part of our ongoing negotiation.
And part of it is in the play, you get to find out about yourself or what your temperament is. Because I don't think that's clear until it's tested.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. You find out all sorts of things about yourself in a relationship. That's for sure. Well, and partly the reason that there is provocativeness, especially from women in relationship to men, is they want to test them out. It's like, can you hold your temper when someone's bothering you? Well, why would a woman want to know that? Well, maybe she doesn't want you to snap and hurt her kids. And so how's she going to find that out? Ask you? Well, you're going to say, well, I'd never do that. It's like, never, eh? Let's find out if it's never. So we don't know how people test each other out in relationships, or why exactly, but it's intense and necessary.
What's in general should a man's relationship with temper be?
You should have one, and you should be able to regulate it. Like, that's part of that attractiveness of the monstrous that characterizes women's fantasies. Right? Because, and Nietzsche pointed this out too. You go back to Nietzsche,
Yeah.
Nietzsche, one of Nietzsche's claims was that most of what passes for morality is nothing but cowardice. I'd never cheat on my wife. It's like, is there anybody asking you to that you actually find attractive? Or are there dozens of people asking you to that you find attractive? It's like, well, I would never cheat. It's like, no, you just don't have the opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's in that position, that they would cheat even if they had the opportunity, because that's not true. And it's the same with regards to, I'm a peaceful man. It's like, no, you're not. You're just a weak coward. You wouldn't dare to have a confrontation, physical or metaphysical. And you're passing it off as morality because you don't want to come to terms with the fact of your own weakness and cowardice. And part of that what I would say is twisted pseudo-Christian morality that Nietzsche was criticizing was exactly of that sort. And it tied into resentment and envy. And he tied that in explicitly. Said that failure in life, masked by the morality that's nothing but weak cowardice, turns to the resentment that undermines and destroys everything, and that does that purposefully.
Yeah, I think he was criticizing if under the facade of niceness, there's an ocean of resentment.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. That's also the danger of being too forthcoming with people. See, this is another thing, let's say, about my wife, who's not particularly agreeable. It's like, she's not particularly agreeable, but she's not resentful. And that's because she doesn't give things away that she isn't willing to. And if you're agreeable and nice and you're conflict avoidant, you'll push yourself too far to please the other person. And then that makes you bitter and resentful. So that's not helpful.
Do you think you'll be in trouble for saying this on a podcast later?
No, we know each other pretty well. And like I said, it's a trait that I find admirable. It's provocative and challenging.
And it seems to work.
Well, we've been together 50 years, so